I'm Don Carr, and this is the Moog MoogerFooger MF-103 12-stage phaser. The MF-103 is a really deep, rich-sounding phaser, as you heard in the intro. It's got a lot of flexibility as well. That's one of the things that makes it so great. You've got a lot of CV inputs, so you can control a lot of functions on the floor if you want to, or you can control them right here from the front. So let's dig in and take a look. The easiest way to show the controls is to actually listen to them. So what I'll do is I'll start with the bypass sound, which is my PRS 513, through a Fender Princeton reverb amp and an Orange Crush 35 RT. So here it is with the MF-103 bypassed. Basic clean tone. And here it is with the current settings. So this slow, deep, wide phase that I've got set here is a great way to start showing the controls. So under the LFO, there is an amount control. That's essentially a depth control. You can hear it gets shallower or wider. And below that, you've got a rate control, which that's obviously the speed at which it modulates. So that's one of the really interesting things about this phaser is it'll go super slow and super fast, because right now we're on the low setting. And if I go to the high setting, even in the lowest position, it's going that fast. So cranked up, right, you get into ring modulator territory. So on the phaser side of things, we've got a sweep control, and that is basically the shape. And below that, you've got a switch for going between 6-stage and 12-stage. We've been in 12-stage, which is the deeper sound, so now let's get a little shallower here with the 6. And we have a resonance control, which that is like the peak, the top of the peak. See, at a lower setting, the peaks are a little smoother and not quite as radical. So you've also got an input and an output level, which is great because that way it'll accommodate any sound source. You can see how I've got it set up for guitar. That's basically like a unity gain kind of sound, but you can get it louder, you can make it softer, however you want to do that. And again, it'll also, works really well with keyboards, just brilliant actually. And so here we go. Let's listen to the drive control. Right, if you want to add a little grit to your phase, and then you can compensate with the output level, which is perfect, or you can keep it really clean, and if you want it to be a little bump in level when you kick it in, just turn it up. So I've got a rotating speaker sound set up, and I've got the expression pedal plugged into the rate control. Right? So as you can see right here, there are 4 inputs for expression pedals. You use all 4 of them simultaneously, and those control these 4 parameters, which is really cool. So right now I'm set up for the rate control. And the way you set that up is the knob determines the lowest amount. So that's, the slowest, and so I want it to be as slow as possible, to simulate a slow moving Leslie. So we're going to start there, and then the pedal actually adds to it. So here it is at the slow rate. here I also added a little bit of drive to it, a little bit of grit, just, you know, a little more like a Leslie. So another cool sound is this phase wah sound. I've got a expression pedal on the sweep control, so I've got real-time control of all the sweep parameters, and you can see how it's set up. Check the settings and check this out. Pretty cool. So for the remaining jacks on here, we'll take a look at them. This is the audio input, and this is your audio output, and this is your auxiliary output. And the way those differ is the audio output is kind of like your main output, and the auxiliary output is obviously auxiliary, but the point being that they both are constantly sending a different signal. So you can use one or the other independently. It's just the audio out's going to give you mostly what you're looking for if you're using a single audio source, if you're not running in stereo. The Lfo Out actually sends LFO information to another pedal that will accept a CV input. For example, if you've got a delay pedal that has a CV input, you can send it to that and it will actually modulate the delay. Pretty cool. The sweep-in jack actually accepts control voltage information, and what it does is it sends it to the second half of the phase shifting groups. Basically, if you're in 12-stage, you've got if you're in 12-stage mode, I should say, you've got, you know, the first set of 6-stage phasers doing one thing and the second set doing another, which is pretty cool. So you're gonna have like 2 sweeps going on at the same time. So there's a look at some of the stuff that the Moog MoogerFooger MF-103 12-stage phaser can actually do. It can really do a lot more than this, and you know, time constraints, obviously. Good grief, you can go on forever with this thing. So what I've got set up for the outro here is like a ring modulator sound, something completely different, and I've got a pedal on the amount control, so that will bring it in and out. So if you have any questions about this or any other Moog product, please contact your Sweetwater sales engineer. Thanks.